Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another cast of Beyond All Reason. Guys, today I am bringing you another epic 4v4 with some extremely high-level players, some of the highest-level players in the entire game. And we just got finished casting that 4v4 on Comet Catcher. Today we are casting a 4v4 on another epic map. This time it's called Colorado. Now, I have never actually casted a game on this map, so I don't know what it's about, but it certainly looks very interesting. And fun fact, I actually live in Colorado, so we will see if this map can live up to its name. But with me, actually, I have my epic friend from the UK, Mr. Borg King. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Thank you, Wingflyer. It's a pleasure to be here. And hello, viewers. Yeah. You'll see me in the bar Discord. I'm one of the contributors and leading up things like the analysis of our open skill, balancing and rating, and some unit analysis and things like that. So do say hello if you see me. Always happy to answer questions. And, well, we're really looking forward to the casting the 4v4 tournament together this Saturday, aren't we?
Yeah, we are so excited. It's going to be super epic to cast that tournament. I think it's going to be a great one. We're going to have probably 20 teams in Swiss tournament format facing off. So we're going to be casting for 6 hours or more, we expect. Game after game, it's going to be nonstop action with some very high-level players. And but let me go ahead and introduce the teams real quick. I'm going to introduce the eastern side. Here in red at the top right, we have Jazz Cash. In yellow, we have Damus. In orange, we have Caliburn. Now, this is interesting because I think Orange is the only player that has gone air in this game. And you see that he started up on the cliff there. Oh, no, Master Bell. Okay, so there is a player on each team that's gone air. But it is interesting that Orange did start up on the cliff here to go air. It gives him a little more protection. And here in the bottom right, in pink, we have Demon Dread. Borg, go ahead and introduce our Western team, please.
Yeah, so in blue on the northwest corner, we got Mighty Sheep, winner of the recent 1v1 tournament we saw in the last cast together. And to his immediate south, we've got Grumpy, another very highly rated player. And in cyan, Bing Bing Bang. And then to his south on the southwest corner, going air, Master Bell 2.
And he has just built a Hercules and air transport, and I'm assuming he's going to do something crazy with this. He's built 2 of them, working on a third one, so it's sending one to Mighty Sheep as well. Oh, it looks like he's building a transport for Teal. He just gave that to Bing Bing Bang.
He's given each of his teammates a transport each. So it's really to help them probably get the commanders up to the top of those hills as quickly as possible.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Especially, well, let's talk about the map a little bit, because it's named after where you're from. I very much doubt it lives up to the great state of Colorado, but an interesting map nevertheless. You see these cliffs.
Right.
They project very close to the enemy base. If you can take control of that, you are in striking range with some of the plasma defense cannons.
Oh, right.
Some of the missile launchers, if you can get on those cliffs, they can hit some of the bases. So it's all about controlling those. Denying your enemy getting the ones close to your base and trying to get the ones near your enemy's base.
Yeah, and Bing Bing Bang here in the south kind of flying his commander around, but he's got to be careful because he may run straight into Demon Dread. Oh, no! Okay, he does drop his commander off just in time. I think he was very close to getting blown out of the sky there by that missile tower. But now it looks like Pink and
Teal... he's made a blunder.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
His transport was so low health that the laser from Demon Dread's commander was able to finish it off mid-air. And that's an insta-death for his commander.
Yeah.
How unfortunate.
And that was just a bad situation in general. Because if he had stayed and killed Pink, still the Eastern team would have had an advantage. But now, Master Bell flying his commander in here. However, Demon Dread has already built 2 missile towers And so it looks like Bell may go somewhere else. But either way, the Western team being extremely aggressive with these air transports. But the problem is Pink has now gotten a free commander. And, oh my god, Master Bell has to be so careful. This is like Mission Impossible type stuff. And Master Bell...
Oh, no. That is very unfortunate. That's two commanders' wreckages worth of metal. You don't want to see it. 4,000 metal gifted.
No, you hate to see it. You hate to see giving the enemy team 4,000 free metal and really getting nothing in return.
And at the same time, you've got to see Mighty Sheep in the northeast corner there.
Yeah.
He's pushed up with his commander and destroyed some of Jazz Cash's starting base.
Yeah, so all three players were being very aggressive with their comms, but only Mighty Sheep really being successful there. The other two just donating some free metal to the Western team, or to the Eastern team, rather. Now, in this situation... which team do you think is ahead? I mean, who would you give the advantage to right now?
Well, on a 4v4 with two comm wreckages, that is enough metal for a quick T2.
Right.
Now, if the West team can take advantage of that time it takes to transition to build a T2, and while they're investing in even the metal extractors, the advanced metal extractors take metal to get going, and they don't pay themselves off for a little bit. That might be a window in which the West team can come back into this.
Well, certainly
we'll see what they decide to do.
The Eastern team seems to have more eco. Like if you look at the top right, they're making about 30 more metal per second. So it seems like they've taken better control of the map, or they're economically ahead, which isn't that surprising, given how the game began. It's still not over, even though the Western team donated 2 free commanders. That does not mean the game is over, as you will need to kill all 4 commanders in order to win. Yeah, now Caliburn has just built a metal storage near his base, and will probably reclaim Green's commander the moment that he can. So...
it's interesting to see. Caliburn does have the metal storage, but he's really stalling on energy at the moment.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his opposite number, Bing Bing Bang, is distracted in the valley floor. If he was pushing Caliburn, he might actually get somewhere.
Yeah, these thugs are very difficult to deal with. At the K-bot phase, they just have a lot of health, and they do good damage, and they even have a small splash. And of course, they can climb hills very well. So just a very well-rounded K-bot. Of course, they're kind of slow. That might be the disadvantage, but overall, Pink doing a good job building these thugs and pushing Teal back. And yeah, this map is really interesting because you have the gameplay on the ridges and in the valleys. In the valleys and on the mountains. So this should be well, Yellow's pushing into Purple's base here, into Grumpy's base. So man, what do you think?
They're gonna try and contest that hill. They know how important it is.
Right.
And to some extent, each player is going to be quite focused on the immediate hill in front of them. What will really might make the difference here is if one of your friends to your side, so Mighty Sheep, if he can help Grumpy and Purple stay on that hill, then it will shut down Damus, and potentially we could see another comm wreckage.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely true. And
looking at Damus now, you've got these thugs with a range advantage because they're uphill. And that's really paying off now. Damus is about to lose all of his units.
Yeah, and he's trying to resurrect what he can, but he can't resurrect fast enough, I think. But he's still doing what he can. But here in the south, Pink pushing through, Demon Dread with a combination of grunts and thugs. And this is going to perhaps catch Bing Bing Bang off guard, as he does have a couple maces, but is it enough? I don't think so. There's not any defenses either. I don't see a single light laser tower or anything. Of course, his commander is gone.
Just to point out, we've got on the east side, we've got a small bombing run from Master Bell. He's now hitting Damus's base.
Yeah, nice airplay.
And while he's doing that, he's not seeing some of these units trying to get behind his base at the front, down in the southwest corner.
Yeah.
Light laser towers making short work of those grunts.
Yeah. So this is one disadvantage to going air first. You have... It is much harder to defend your territory when you don't have K-bots or vehicles. But a couple light laser towers will defend his base. However, he does lose a lot of mexes in the process. So still a very back-and-forth game, and a lot closer than you would think after the Western team donating 2 commanders early on.
Well, it's interesting, actually. Even though there is that donation, Caliburn in orange hasn't actually reclaimed the wreckage on that cliff top yet.
Yeah. And what's
only
with
a small
that?
amount of metal.
What's with that? That's so weird that he would just, wait to reclaim that.
I would have to file that under blunder, because even if he's thinking to use that metal himself when he's ready, because he was stalling on energy, but he has now got his geothermal power plant up on that hill, he could have been sharing that metal with his allies. Yeah. And ultimately, that is going to help you win. And you may be missing out on the T2 early expansion, but if you want to win, that is the way to do it.
Hold that thought, because Damus is in a lot of trouble here, and he will explode here near the center of the map. And now Purple moving through with a huge army of thugs, and now with Yellow's corpse there, Yellow Commander's corpse, Purple going to get some free metal, and of course Purple will reclaim that right away. He's not waiting for a rainy day to collect it. He's saying, let's get this metal right now, and like you said, help the team. Guys, this goes to show that even at this high level of play, all these players are very good. They can still make mistakes. They can still make blunders. So don't feel too bad in your games if you make some mistakes, because it does happen to the best of us.
Absolutely. And so many things going on in this map, so many areas to contest and avenues to look through, whether it's the valley or the hills. And they keep looking at the back line to see if there's an air threat, because that's been a major part of this game.
Yeah. It's we do love to see airplay, especially in these bigger games, but one thing we haven't commented on is the fact that Mighty Sheep has gotten to T2 very quickly and now running around with all these fiends, taking out thugs. Of course, thugs are doing okay. He's going to need some more fiends, but they're doing decently. And Purple has a decently defended base as well. He's got light laser towers and he's got some mines on the ground. But,
yeah, very conscious of any units getting through on the valley floor.
Yeah,
but really, he's becoming dominant now. He reclaimed that comm wreckage, and all that metal has already gone into units.
Yeah, and Purple with a massive army of thugs moving into Yellow's base here. And there's not a huge amount of defense. There is one twin guard here. I would like to see him kind of consolidate his forces. Like, you don't want to send your army in like a line. We're not playing chicken defense or alien raptors. You really want to move all your units together. But yeah, Purple's got a huge army. However, Red Jazz Cash is on T2, and that will allow him to maybe defend this. But I don't know. I don't feel like sprinters are necessarily the best option. I'd like to see some Zeus's or Welders, something to that effect.
Yeah, sprinters are fast, but they don't have the damage or the health really to turn around everything on their own. Though he is getting some hounds, they will do nicely to outrange these thugs. And he looks like he's committing now, saving his ally. Damus has got to be eternally grateful for that, because they were right on his doorstep.
Yeah, Pink also on T2. So maybe the Eastern team feeling that if they can get to T2, they will be able to stay in this game, perhaps get an advantage over their opponents. As now we see good use of fiends. Guys, T2 can wreck these T1 armies, especially if if you have the right composition. Mavericks are pretty... I'd like to see some Mavericks. Mavericks are almost designed to kill T1 and gain veterancy very quickly so that they can become almost unstoppable. So this might be a situation where Mavericks could even... Well, actually, what are Mavericks called in Bar? Do you know the official name?
Mavericks are now called Gunslingers.
Okay, Gunslingers. So yeah, the Gunslingers could be good here. But either way, Blue has been on T2 for a while, and still it seems like the Western team has the advantage just in terms of the map positions. But it's close. I mean, who do you think is winning?
Well, it's interesting that the commander we spoke about earlier next to Caliburn's hill is now actually being resurrected, so that metal never made its way into units or teching. But in terms of map control, it's quite even. I think I would give East the edge, but the one thing to look out for is that Mighty Sheep still has control of that mountaintop on the north side. And from there, he could, for example, and what might be typical is a tactical nuke launcher. Which
he's building one right now.
He just queued one.
Yeah, he just queued one, yeah.
So, perfect. So, from that position, he can strike almost to the back of the map behind Jazz Cash's base. So, Jazz Cash will be aware of this. He knows he needs to do something to get Mighty Sheep off that hill soon. Because something will start raining down on him. Whether he expects an attack nuke, I'm not sure. But we'll see.
Like you said, he's got this slow T2 constructor waddling up at the speed of snail to build this T2 this tactical nuke launcher. But this could be very devastating to Red's base if he lands it in the right place. Jazz Cash is going T2 air at the very moment. At this moment, he's currently building it. But you know, will that be enough to save him? Now, one thing that I do want to comment on is that Green is building some bombers, and a good bombing run, a well-placed airstrike could certainly give the Western team a nice advantage in their favor. You know, it could give them some kind of insurmountable lead. And I also want to say Mighty Sheep is using these Sheldons on his ridge there to be very, very annoying, as Jazz Cash will slowly start to lose any structures he had in the valley. Yeah.
It's Jazz Cash is in a frustrating position because he knows that Damus to his immediate south is not in a position to contest the hill on his immediate west against Purple, Grumpy. So he's distracted, and ideally Jazz Cash would be totally focused on getting that hill off Mighty Sheep.
Yeah, Damus,
some really good skirmishing going on here now.
Damus doesn't really have much of anything. It seems like he's gone into pure eco. He's just trying to help his team, you know, with their resources. But he's reclaimed all of his unit building factories, so it's up to
it's a really interesting unit at the north side. If you look at Mighty Sheep, has got a termite, all-terrain spider, which he has stopped moving. But that could literally go. There's nothing to oppose it at the moment. That's unfortunate. He's probably forgotten about it with trying to deal with all of his eco and other units. But if he kept moving that, he could have at least done quite a bit of damage to the wind turbines.
Yeah, it's already got 7 kills. And guys, these termites can move anywhere. They cannot be stopped by any kind of terrain except for like water. I don't think they're amphibious, but aside from that, they can move over any terrain. And that one termite could really do a lot of damage. But like you said, it seems like perhaps he forgot about it. And, you know, but having said that, Pink moving with a lot of Sheldons through the south here as well. And that could get something done. But I don't know. I mean, still feels like a very close game. I don't know. I think the Western team probably has an advantage just because of Mighty Sheep on this hill. But, yeah.
We're getting to the stage where both teams know that there's going to be a killer blow soon. And if they don't make it, then the other team will. So it's going to be maybe T3 units, they're thinking, or a bombing run like we're about to see. But it's really racing for that opportunity to knock at least an enemy player out, and then from there, it's almost in the bag.
Yeah, and here comes this bombing run that we mentioned a few minutes ago that's been brewing for quite a while as Green has been building up this armada, if you will. Moving through now with a huge number of bombers. And
yeah.
What will he go
20
for?
whirlwinds there. He's raiding all the eco and high-value targets. And he is almost entirely unopposed. That's considering he had both players starting air early on, it's not necessarily a surprise like it can be in some games. So they should have really had some fighters to try and negate them, but they've done some major damage now.
Yeah, very well used as well. Those bombers were spread out, so they like carpet bombed the entire base there instead of all focusing on one target. But you know, now hitting the fusions, the converters. Man, Jazz Cash was in a bad situation, but now he's in a horrible situation as Green has just decimated his base. Yellow's base will also now be just mostly taken out with the explosion of that Moho Geo. And yeah, like you said, it's surprising that there wasn't more of a fighter screen on the Eastern team, given that they knew that you know, the Western team had air.
Yeah, there's a slight misplay there. I think Caliburn's perhaps more focused on his front line.
Yeah. He's
got the hill and feels relatively safe on there, and kind of forgot about his air roll, and super important in these games.
Yeah, and Mighty Sheep desperately attempting to keep this tactical nuke alive as Damus with his arbiters trying to get it down, but he will send a tactical nuke to Jazz Cash's base. Oh my God! And taking out the T2 aircraft plant. So, man, I think it's sort of near the end for the Eastern team between that bombing run and now the tactical nuke.
Yeah, there's some major damage done now.
Yeah, it's looking bad. It's looking very bad. And man, I just have to say, I feel like the Eastern team. I mean I feel like the Western team just played it better. I mean, after donating 2 commanders early on. The Eastern team should have had the advantage, but they just did not. They did not take that that free metal that they got and do much with it. You know, it doesn't feel like they used it.
That feels like the main error they've made. But you've got to also think about that Demon Dread has had the same equivalent hill on the south side, and has not really established anything on top of it.
You're right.
Not as much in striking range, it must be said, where Master Bell has got his base on right at the back, but still, it just shows you the different aspects that these players have really focused on, and it's paid off for the West team.
No, yeah, absolutely. It's certainly been it's just been a crazy game, but I think the Western team just played it better. They used their advantages better. Green really committing to air the whole game, and Orange was just trying to do a little bit of everything. It seemed like he was trying to, you know, maybe the fact that he was trying to hold that hill, you know, that was distracting him from really committing or focusing on his air production, where Green wasn't trying to hold anything. I mean, he was just completely on air. Yeah. That allowed him to just build this massive bombing force, and ultimately...
And it's really a lot of players will have this very similar situation where they've got an ally next to them that's not fighting because they're air or whatever, and they feel like they're 2v1.
Yeah.
And Bing Bing Bang has had that situation and just held it. And that's, you've got to put some of the blame for that on the fact that Demon Dread and Caliburn didn't really push him. The fact that he could hold off 2 people on his own.
Yeah.
So there we are.
Yeah, that was a good game. Again, a really interesting start by the Western team, flying their commanders in transports. And you know, donating 2 of them, but it was certainly the Eastern team didn't use that metal as efficiently as they could have, and also I think they should have been able to take more of the map as well, right? Because once the enemy commander is dead, it's much easier to push into their base, you know, take their positions. Yeah, ultimately, I just feel like the Western team played it better. They had a better strategy. They worked together better. Green, like you said, was able to just Master Bell was able to just stay on air the whole game and not really have to focus on defending. So, really close, but ultimately, the Western team just had a better strategy and better teamwork. So,
Yeah, absolutely. What was your favorite play in that game?
my favorite play was, I think it was probably the bombing run by Master Bell. It was not only was it well timed, but the way that he carpet bombed the entire base. So, guys, if you don't know the way that bombers generally work, if you just tell them to attack, they'll all sort of bunch up and attack a single target. Like they'll go into they'll stack on each other and they'll all go into a singular line. But somehow Master Bell spread out these bombers so that they could carpet bomb the entire base, like a huge area. How does he do that? Do you even know how he?
Yeah, well, you've got the option of just like you can do a move order on a line formation,
Right.
you can attack on a line formation.
Okay.
And just draw a nice wavy pattern or a spiral on where you roughly want to target as an area,
Uh-huh.
and the bombers will attack those spots. There's also an area attack command, which I haven't used for a long time, so I'm not sure if it's as effective, but it certainly is replicating that same sort of effect. You can draw a circle area, and they will automatically pick targets within there. Or they'll shoot the ground if there are no targets immediately next to where they were looking at.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. I didn't actually know you could do that with bombers, but I'm learning new things every day about the bar engine. What was your favorite moment in the game?
I think at the beginning that really aggressive use of transporters, and
Yeah.
then how it was such a disaster for the West team. They lost both commanders, but Mighty Sheep managed to get his up there and established. I think that was where he played it and pushed his commander into Jazz Cash's base. I think that was probably a deciding moment because it really slowed Jazz Cash down and allowed Mighty Sheep to get that hilltop for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That was really well played.
No, it was. Yeah, Mighty Sheep was really the only player who was successful in that kind of aggressive transport usage. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, we will be back on Saturday for 6 or more hours of non-stop casting. And if you thought these games were epic, just imagine what it's going to be with 20 teams of very high-skilled players. I am sure we are going to have some moments that we will never forget. And I hope to see you all there. It would be awesome. Thank you so much, Borg. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, thanks, Wingfire. Well, just come and join us, guys. We'll be on the official Twitch channel for Bar, and we'll be looking out for your comments and questions in the chat. And we encourage you to help us criticize the players and what some blunders they make that day. I'm sure there'll be a few. So yeah, really looking forward to it, man. And yeah, thank you very much for having me on your channel.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm glad that you joined me, and we will see you guys in the next cast.